Hello and welcome. I am Raghav, and today we are going to learn about network configuration in Vagrant. This is going to be very easy and very interesting. Vagrant offers three options for networking. We have port forwarding, and this is what we are going to focus on today in this video. And then we also can set up private network and public network. So in this session, we are going to see how to do port forwarding in Vagrant, what is port forwarding, and then how can we access an application running on the virtual machine from the browser of our host machine or from outside the virtual machine. So here let us first understand what is port forwarding. Now in Vagrant we can have an option where we can forward the port of the virtual machine outside, and we can map the port of a host machine to the port of a virtual machine, and then we can access any application running on that port. So by default, Vagrant forwards port 22 from the guest machine. When we say guest machine, it is the virtual machine, to the open port in the host machine. However, we can also specify which port to map in our Vagrant file. So let us see that how we can do this. So we will open the Vagrant file and we will add this line config.vm.network, and then we can say forward port, and here we say which port from the virtual machine or from the guest machine should be forwarded to which port of the host machine. So here we are saying forward port 80 from the virtual machine to port 8080 of the host machine. Okay, so let's see. I will open my Vagrant file. So this is my folder where I have my Vagrant file. I will open it in a text editor, and here I'm going to say I also have added some notes here. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll just copy this part. This is what we are doing, and I will add it here. And this part, the provisioning, how do we provision, and the provisioning script, this we have already covered in the earlier session. So this is when we added this line, and now we have added this line to forward port 80 of the virtual machine to port 8080 of the host machine. Now we can add a provision script to install Apache Server on the virtual machine, and this is what we have done in the earlier session. So you can see provision1.sh, which is this file that we have created in the earlier session when we learned about provisioning of the virtual machine. If I open this file, here this is what we are running on the virtual machine. We are updating the softwares, and then we are installing the Apache Server, and then we are creating this index.html file, and then we are restarting the server. Okay, and this we have given here in the Vagrant file, that to provision use the shell script, and the path of the shell script is here. Okay, so now this we have done. Now let us see if our virtual machine is already running. I will open my terminal. If you are on Windows, you can go to your command prompt or PowerShell or Git Bash, and I will first cd to the folder or change directory to the folder where my Vagrant file is. It is on my desktop projects and a folder called Vagrant projects. It is here. So I will check Vagrant status, and it will show me if my machine is already running, and yes, it is already running. So now I can just reload using the provision option. If it is not running, you can just say Vagrant up to first bring up the virtual machine, and when you say Vagrant up, it is anyways going to read and do everything you have done in the Vagrant file. So for me, I will say Vagrant. I can also say Vagrant provision, but I have made some changes in the Vagrant file, so I will say Vagrant reload -- provision, and make sure that you have saved your Vagrant file and also your provision file, and run this command, and this will first gracefully shut down the virtual machine, and then it will restart and take all the new changes from the Vagrant file. Okay, so yes, this is bringing up the virtual machine, and yes, this is all done. Now in my case, in the earlier session, I had already ran the provision file, and the server was already installed, so it was very quick, and it is saying it is already installed. So now if I want, I can go to my host machine, that is my primary system, and go to the browser and go to localhost 8080. So if I now go to http colon localhost 8080, you can see I am getting hello world. This is running it from the Apache server, which is running in the virtual machine. All right, so we are able to do port forwarding here. Now just in case port 8080 is busy, or whatever port you have mapped is busy, in that case you can also add the option to autocorrect the port in Vagrantfile. So once you do this, Vagrant will automatically choose ports, any free port between 2200 and 2250 range. So let me show you. If I do this, I just have to say autocorrect true in my Vagrantfile. I'll go to my Vagrantfile, and here I will say comma and autocorrect true in the config.vm.network line. So now even if port 8080 is busy, it will autocorrect and find the available port between this range, and we can also provide our own range. We can say config.vm.usable port, and we can provide our own range here. So I can say something like this in the Vagrantfile. I can say config.vm.usable port range, and I can give the port range, let's say 8000 to 9000, and these two values will also be included, 8000 and 9000. So any port that is available between this range will be used. So this is how we can also do port forwarding and auto correction. So I hope this was very useful. You can do some more hands-on. Let me know if you face any issues. I will see you soon. Thank you for watching, and never stop learning.